Hello everyone, welcome back to GED's pre-review of the Wonderlands classes and their skill trees that have been released thus far. Today, we're continuing on with the spell shot, so let's just dive right in. The spell shot looks basically like your typical D&D wizard, as expected. So let's just read the preview here. Spell shots are gun-toting wizards who can unleash a constant barrage of spells and bullets and transform their enemies into harmless livestock with a snap of a finger. Whether they're slinging spells or shooting shells, ooh, that's a tongue twister, spell shots know that in the Wonderlands, an adventurer survives by force of arms and arcana. While others may view their guns as mere weapons, the spell shot has trained rigorously until it becomes an extension of their own magical will, weaving gun and grimoire together to enhance their spells and imbue their weapons. Also, they can turn their enemies into fuzzy little animals, which is just hilarious. Yes, it is. Okay, so we got their class feat here, which is spell weaving. Casting a spell or reloading a weapon gives spell shot a stack of spell weaving, increasing spell damage. Spell weaving stacks automatically decay after a few seconds. Casting a repeating spell has a chance to award additional spell weaving stacks after each repeating cast. So basically, what you're looking for on a spell weaver is multiple charge, multiple repeating spells, so you can get massive amounts of spell stacks. What the max cap of spell stacks is and the amount of damage it gives you is yet to be seen because we haven't really got a preview of the full class, right? But spoiler alert, Spellweaver is going to be my main class because I like wizard, magic, blaster, elemental carnage, right? So let's get into the action skills. Ambihextrous. The spell shot may equip a spell into their action slot. Whenever the spell shot presses the action skill button, they cast that spell. So basically, this is a reverse Zane mechanic, whereas Zane in Borderlands 3 could get his grenades into an action skill. This is changing it kind of in the opposite direction, where an action skill becomes a grenade, i.e. a spell. Spells are the new mechanic of Borderlands, Wonderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and actually, they are super amazing. Like, they do some crazy stuff, and this is the action skill I'm going with. Spoiler alert, again. Ambihextrous just seems amazing to me. Polymorph. The spell shot turns an enemy into a skeep for a few seconds. If the enemy is immune, the spell shot instantly casts a free spell on that enemy, so bosses that are immune to Polymorph get just a spell cast shot at them. And gains 2 free stacks of spell weaving, which may be super strong because A, you're casting a spell, and B, you're getting 2 free stacks of spell weaving. While Polymorph is active, the player that damages the skeep has a chance to cast a free spell. This effect is guaranteed the first time the Fate Maker deals gun damage. If the spell shot casts a free spell this way, they gain a stack of spell weaving. So this is more of kind of like, I'm gonna place that into like any of the Siren's Grasp spells. It's basically just, instead of forming that magical grasp, that like hand grasp that Amara had, or the previous Sirens, just pure grasp spells, it's Polymorph into a skeep. But this looks amazing, absolutely amazing in multiplayer because it's given that kind of synergy with other players, and not many spells in this game seem to have done that, which is kind of weird. Okay, into the passives, not too exciting as usual. Spell Sniper, gain an increased spell critical hit chance, okay. Magic Bullets, a portion of all the bonuses the Fate Maker receives to spell damage is applied to their guns. And Prestidigitation, gain increased reload speed. In this first tier, Prestidigitation, I've never ever had a problem with reload speed in any Borderlands games, so I'd say this is probably the weaker of the 3. Magic Bullets seems like it's super strong. Spell Sniper seems also very strong because spells are what the Spellweaver is going to be using, so crit hit chance and gun damage. There you go. Tier 2, Font of Mana. Gain increased spell cooldown rate. Gain increased action skill cooldown rate. Number 2, Mage Armor. Whenever the Fate Maker gains a stack of spell weaving, they restore a portion of their ward, and this will play into a later skill we'll see. Just warming up. Gain increased fire rate for every spell weaving stack. So increased spell cooldown and action skill cooldown rate seems good on paper at first, but a later skill we'll see kind of makes this not so amazing at first glance. Mage Armor, every time you gain a stack of spell weaving, every time you cast a spell, or reload your weapon, you'll gain ward. And this will play into the next tier, which we kind of preview down here. Gain increased fire rate. Fire rate's never bad, so all three of these are kind of good. I would say the weaker of this tree is Font of Mana, whereas these two right here are pretty dang strong. Tier 3, Glass Cannon. The Fate Maker's ward no longer recharges, but they gain drastically increased spell damage. So again, we're playing off those spells. Your spell weaving and your glass cannon are boosting up your spells to do amazing damage. And since you can no longer regenerate your ward, you're relying on this one back here. Whenever you gain a stack of spell weaving, you restore a portion of your ward. So these two pretty much go hand in hand. Tier 4. Wait, before I go into Tier 4, I just want to come back here for a second. Since you gain spell weaving stacks by reloading and casting spells, if you're constantly reloading your gun, like shooting one bullet and reloading, shooting one bullet and reloading, I wonder if this actually plays into this whole mechanic, if you can recharge your ward just by constantly reloading. Yet to be seen if you need to empty a mag or not. Probably not. Okay, Tier 4. Sorry, guys. Imbued Weapon. Whenever the Fate Maker casts a spell, their guns deal bonus damage of that spell's element. This effect stacks once per spell. So you're basically taking your spell element and you're infusing it into your gun. That's actually pretty cool and can be very useful if you're in a zone where, say, your gun is like fire element, but the enemies all have shields and your spell is a lightning element. So you cast it, then your gun has lightning element. So you're doubling down on that shield break. High thread count. Gain increased spell weaving max stacks. Okay, again, we don't know how many stacks spell weaving will stack up to, or if the drop off period of spell weaving is super fast, it might be hard to stack it up. So this is kind of debatable right here yet. Warcaster, kill skill. Whenever the Fate Maker kills an enemy, there's a chance their weapon is instantly reloaded. This chance is increased per spell weaving stack. Reload again. Reload's never been a problem for me personally in Borderlands, unless you're using like a super slow rocket launcher or a super slow machine gun that takes like, I don't know, 3 seconds to reload, roughly around there. So I would say this is the weaker of these 2, 3 in Tier 4. But you can go a fast reload build if you want. Tier 5, Double Knot. Whenever you score a critical hit with a spell, deal bonus damage equal to your gun's element. So if your spells are critting, they're doing buku damage. All right, cool. 1 slot, 1 kill. Gain increased gun damage per spell weaving stack. Both of these, it's only a 4-point tier right here in Tier 5. Both of these are actually really amazing for bolstering your damage. You're going to be slinging spells, you're going to be shooting your gun, so they're going to play off each other and kind of feed into your guns and your spells. They're both crisscrossing. That's very, very good mechanics right there. I like it. Sever the Thread. Your capstone of this entire class. Gun critical hits have a chance to instantly reset all spell cooldowns. This has a short cooldown. Okay, so if you crit, you get spells. That kind of removes the need for the previous tiers where it said increased cooldown rate of spells. And I don't really see you needing increased cooldown if your spells are randomly coming instantly off cooldown. So again, Spellweaver has a lot of cross play between their guns and their spells and feeding in a lot of damage to both. The multi-cat classes for the SPELLSHOT are very, very wide and open. I think this class kind of plays well with almost anything because there's just a lot of pure damage boosts within the entire tree. So me personally, in my previous video I mentioned I'm going off the beaten path. I'm going a SPELLSHOT Clawbringer, but again, a SPELLSHOT Spore Warden, a SPELLSHOT Graveborn, a SPELLSHOT, pretty much anything is very viable. Guys, let me know what you think, and maybe we'll dive into a few multi-class combo potentials in another video.